Right now at 6, 4 dead and 4 injured in Salem as the driver accused of crossing the center line goes before a judge. Plus, how a community is mourning a father and coach killed in a head-on collision.
He was the light of the community for his boys, his baseball boys.
Then, take 2 for Vancouver police when it comes to asking voters to support more officers.
If it makes us safer, it's fine with me.
I mean, it's important to have police.
And later, 100 years, countless memories.
We have so many photos, you can literally just watch me grow up.
As Multnomah Falls Lodge celebrates a century as one of Oregon's timeless treasures. Good evening, everyone. David Mulco with you on this Monday. We begin with updates on 2 deadly crashes over the weekend. One on I-84 in the Gorge, where a softball coach and father was killed in a collision, authorities say, with another driver who was going the wrong way. But first to Marion County, where police say a drunk driver crossed the center line in Salem, leaving 4 dead and 4 injured, including children. Devin Haskins was in court as the suspect went before a judge for the first time.
Well, the driver's facing 4 counts of second-degree manslaughter, as well as 4 counts of reckless endangerment and DUII. Deputies say the driver had an open container of alcohol in his car, as well as beer in the back seat. This crash happened Saturday evening along Cordon Road in Salem. The Marion County Sheriff's Office says 23-year-old Saul Hernandez Roblero was swerving across the road, crossed the center line, and swerved back, causing an oncoming vehicle to T-bone into his car. 3 people were injured in the oncoming car, as well as a passenger in Hernandez Roblero's car. We also learned through court documents the names of the 4 male passengers in the backseat of Hernandez Roblero's car that died. They are Eduardo Guadalupe Zaragoza Flores, Brian Juarez Zavala, Jose Eduardo Perez Mendoza, Jesus Eduardo Gonzalez Ramos. And in court this afternoon, prosecutors said that Hernandez Roblero's blood alcohol content was .126, above the legal limits. They also said he admitted to police about drinking that night and that he regularly drinks and drives. He'll remain in jail without bail. The driver of that other oncoming car and her 2 children are okay and out of the hospital, recovering at home. In Salem, I'm Devin Haskins, KGW News.
And this evening, people are remembering a local coach and father who died Saturday in what authorities say was a wrong-way crash along I-84. On Saturday, Oregon State Patrol says a car was driving west in the eastbound lanes near Rooster Rock State Park when it slammed into Jeff Flood's car head-on, causing it to catch on fire. Police say Flood died at the scene here, leaving his family and those who knew him reeling.
It was a big thing for the community because we only have one little tiny rec league, and so he made a tournament team for more competitive boys, and his motto was always good, and good that, you know, if you mess up you can do better for the next play.
Well, Flood was also a light rail technician for TriMet, which said in part, quote, "Our hearts go out to Jeff's family, loved ones, and colleagues." A GoFundMe to cover memorial costs and support Flood's family has now been set up. You can find a link to that in our story at kgw.com. In an update now, Southeast Portland's Toast restaurant held a fundraiser today for the man who died in an e-scooter accident right outside its doors. Randy Phelps was riding the scooter near Southeast 52nd and Mitchell on August 18th when he hit a bump in the road and fell. That fall caused a severe brain injury, and his loved ones eventually made the decision to take him off life support. Toast is donating 25% of all its sales today to Phelps' family.
We've lived in the neighborhood for 20 years, and so this is our home. I love this community, we love this community, and we want to support the families in this community.
On top of today's fundraiser, a GoFundMe has also raised more than $15,000. In your headlines this evening, state police are trying to crack Oregon's oldest unidentified person case, an 80-year-old unsolved homicide. Today, investigators exhumed partial remains of a woman known only as Oak Grove Jane Doe. This was at Mountain View Cemetery in Oregon City. Her remains, though, were first discovered in 1946 in several spots along the Willamette, including near Willamette Falls. Authorities hope forensic tests will finally give her a name and bring closure to a case that has stumped investigators for decades.
Being able to, I guess, restore at least the dignity of the decedent's name is something that is really, really valuable, not only for the decedent herself, but also for her family who may be wondering what happened to her.
Detectives still need to make sure they can get enough viable DNA from the remains given their age. Portland police have just released the identity of the man killed in a shooting near a bar in the Montevilla neighborhood. Authorities say 45-year-old Garvin Franklin Jr. was shot and killed September 18th. Officers found Franklin dead in the parking lot of Buddy's Lounge near Southeast 82nd and Harrison. The suspect, 37-year-old Brandon Lewis, is now in jail, charged with second-degree murder. And staying in Southeast Portland, one man is in the hospital after he was shot by police over the weekend. Authorities say this started Saturday morning when the suspect originally threatened a gas station attendant near 84th and Foster with a gun. He drove away, police say, and ended up at another gas station at Southeast 122nd and Division, where officers found him. Police say they tried to get him out of his vehicle, and when the suspect opened the door, he was holding a gun. Shots were exchanged, and while no officers were hurt, the suspect was hit. Police say they recovered the firearm from the suspect's car. No word yet on any charges. Tech giant Nvidia is investing $100 billion in OpenAI. That's not a typo. It's the parent company of ChatGPT. They say this will help OpenAI expand its fleet of data centers to power its chatbot. And it follows Nvidia's announcement last week that it's investing more than $5 billion in Intel as the companies team up to develop new AI infrastructure and computing products. The move underscores skyrocketing demand for high-powered chips and data centers, with tech giants racing to secure the computing power necessary for AI. And finally, in your heads, Safeway and Albertsons pharmacies across Oregon and Washington are now offering the updated COVID-19 vaccine. Customers can walk in or make an appointment online. The vaccine is not available for children under 7, though, who will need to go to a pediatrician. You'll want to check directly with your insurer about any potential costs, including copays. Matt?
All right, David, fall began this morning at 11:19, and this is one of 2 days of the year where the sun sets directly due west and it rose directly due east. That happens on the equinox, both fall and in the spring. And boy, what a great first day of fall. 77 degrees right now out at the Reserve Golf Course. We had some low clouds this morning, but I'm kind of focused on Washington because it's what you don't see that's important. You really don't see a lot of wildfire smoke. We're picking up some here in the central Washington Cascades, some fires there, and a little bit of haze around the Bear Gulch fire in the Olympic Mountains that brought us that hazy weather last week, right? But the winds are going to start going north and even northeast. So when we look at our smoke model, you see the haze come back over western Oregon. So while it will be warmer tomorrow, the sky may not be quite as blue as it was today as we pick up some of that wildfire haze coming from smoke from the fires up in Washington. But it will be sunny and it will be warm. We'll be in the 80s. It'll be hazy again, as I mentioned. And the weekend, the first weekend of fall, looks amazing. There's no rain in the forecast, at least through then. We'll check out the prospects for rain after that in a bit. David?
A lot of folks will be celebrating that. Thanks, Matt. Election Day is 6 weeks from tomorrow, and voters in Vancouver are set to decide on whether to raise taxes to pay for more police officers. Let's bring in Celine Stevens live in Vancouver. Celine, this is essentially a do-over after the last levy failed, though we should say with some key changes.
David, yes. So Proposition 5, also known as the Police Services Levy, aims to raise $6 million annually over the next 6 years to hire up to 13 sworn police officers and cover other necessities. Now, like you said, this follows the failure of Proposition 4 last year, but this time it comes with smaller taxes for voters.
I'd vote for it, yes.
I would vote yes again.
I'm in favor of having more police officers, always, yes.
Some voters already showing support for Proposition 5, the Police Services Levy that will be on Vancouver voters' ballots this November. They say more officers on the streets are needed.
I had my wallet and phone stolen out of my car a few weeks ago. I mean, you know, stuff like that happens every day, it seems like, and worse, you know, so.
This proposition promised to be different than last year's failed Proposition 4.
There were additional pieces in Prop 4, additional technology, for example, traffic lights and speeding lights and those types of things. We took that off.
Failed Proposition 4 also would have added up to 80 full-time sworn officers and was a multi-year levy lid lift that required a higher amount each year. This time, it's different.
This time we're looking for 13 officers. It would be a levy lid lift. It would be $6.25 a month for those individuals who have a $500,000 home, for example.
This levy increasing Vancouver's regular property tax by 15 cents per $1,000 of assessed value. Some voters say that's not too bad.
It's not that big of a deal. I mean, especially like I said, compared to everything else. If it makes us safer, it's fine with me.
I mean, it's important to have police, and there's so much homelessness here.
Vancouver Mayor Anne McInerney-Ogle says Vancouver's population grows by 3,000 to 5,000 people every year. And as the population grows, so does the need for more officers.
We have so many officers with a great amount of overtime. So 2 officers are doing the work of 3 with all of the overtime.
While she also says crime has actually gone down, it requires overtime. And with Vancouver having the second lowest staffed police department in the state among cities of its size, she says the only answer is to hire more officers.
What we need are those officers to stop doing all the overtime. Go home. Let's bring in that 3rd officer to fill in that gap.
So this will be on the general election ballot. Election day is on November 4th. Regular ballots will be sent out on October 17th. David?
Well, we'll see what voters think about a slimmed down version. Thanks, Celine. Well, we are only just a few days out from 51 new Oregon laws taking effect. That's a long list. From healthcare to wildfire funding, we have an article at KGW.com that walks you through all or most of those changes. Just text the word laws to this number, 503-226-5088, and we will text you back with a link.